One, the socialist country of Cuba. Oh, shit. One, the socialist country of Cuba has denounced the new energy sanctions that have been launched against the country by the current U.S. President Donald Trump as being criminal. These sanctions particularly target the energy sector inside of the country, and this was recently denounced at the, the recent UN General Assembly. One, the government of the United States has begun in recent months to apply criminal, non-conventional measures to prevent the provisions of fuel to our country from various markets through threats and persecution. As a result, we have faced severe difficulties to ensure the supply of fuel required for everyday life in the country, which has forced us to adopt temporary emergency measures. One, this means that there is a new round of fuel shortages in the country, which has been under a U.S. economic blockade since 1962. Now, previously, there was a lifting of those sanctions in 2015 under then U.S. President Barack Obama. But once Trump returned to office, he decided that he was going to place another maximum pressure right on the country again, and then exacerbate the situation even worse by placing even more energy sanctions on the country. Now, these interruptions in the fuel supply have had a very severe effect on Cuban life, which has undermined to a great deal the public transportation system in some of the more busy areas where most transportation is needed. There's been severe cutbacks as a result of a lack of diesel fuel for many of the buses, etc. So they are having a very severe effect on the Cuban economy and the Cuban people in general. Now, on Thursday, the U.S. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo accused Raul Castro and placed conditions on him, saying that he wasn't allowed to enter the U.S. or go to the UN, etc., because of his voice for support for Hugo Chavez and the Bolivarian revolution that has taken place in Venezuela. In other words, the U.S. says you're not allowed to attend the International Assembly of Countries because we don't like who you support. That sounds like the very petty level nonsense that we would expect out of the Trump administration, punishing someone for supporting something. But again, we return to the same old accusation, oh, look at this problem socialism has. Well, yeah, if you sanction and embargo them from being able to buy something and then say, haha, they can't buy something. That's moronic. That would be like if I kicked you in the face and then said, haha, you have a bruise on your face. That's just stupid. It doesn't make any sense. And this does prove that Cuba is no threat to anybody. They don't have any ability to project force on anyone else. Even if it was like a super advanced capitalist economy, it still wouldn't even have that kind of power. But still, the United States has to treat it like the biggest threat in all of Latin America, next to Venezuela, because Venezuela bad. But you see what I mean. You still have to treat this country like it's the gravest threat the U.S. has ever faced. Like it's some terrible threat to the world. Even though this is a small, still largely underdeveloped country as a result of the sanctions. The example of Cuba is what they cannot stand. They cannot stand for someone to say, we are not going to be a colony of the United States. That's what they're really afraid of. That's what they cannot stand, is for someone to possibly oppose them. And that, again, because of the great cooperation between Venezuela and Cuba, is probably the real reason this is happening. This is what they're being punished for. And this is something that, at least as long as Trump is in the White House, something that we could look forward to in the future. Thank you for watching. If you like this program, then please head over to my Patreon page and set up a monthly donation. It's your donations that keep this program running. Also, if you would like, please rate, comment, subscribe, and share in various social media.